Hey everyone, wherever you're tuning in from, just want to say welcome to GodKulture TV episode 3. And our theme for this month is Missio Dei, which means sent of God. Is there someone in your life that at a particular time when you were feeling really down, when you were really stressed out, when you were in the hospital, is there someone that you believe was sent? Someone who went out of their comfort zone to support you, someone who helped you, someone who forgave you when you did something really crazy. Think about that. Think about what it means to be sent of God. And we really want to inspire you with this episode. We're going to be interviewing a really amazing person called Tim, who really embodies what it means to be sent of God, to support someone else. And as you know, GodKulture is all about helping people and supporting people and inspiring people to discover their purpose. And not only that, walk in their God-given purpose. So what is GodKulture? If this is the first time you're tuning in, GodKulture is a global network of Christian professionals. We're passionate about using our gifts and our talents to make the world a better place. So we love to do 4 things every single month. We call them the 4 Gs. One of them is to grow. So every month we encourage you to develop yourself. I believe that leadership starts inwardly and then outwardly. Second thing is govern. Govern is about leadership. We're called to rule. So you're supposed to use your business, your career, your platform in your community to make the world a better place, to fight injustice, to be merciful, to be generous, to be a person of gratitude, just in the little things. So number 2 is govern. Number 3 is give. We love to give in our community. So we're always collaborating in creative ways to support people and to empower the least of these. And the final one is gather. So every single month we love to gather together. This could be virtually or in person. We gather safely. We do Bible study, we have events, and we have some really cool events coming up this year that we will be sharing with you a little later. So, Missio Dei. What is Missio Dei? Missio Dei means sent of God. In fact, one of the biggest stories of Missio, of sending, of being sent in the Bible, starts out with a bunch of prophets in the Old Testament. In fact, there are so many stories of Missio, of being sent in the Bible. One of the very notable ones is when God sent someone, a prophet, to announce that by the next day there would no longer be a famine in the land. Now, the Israelites had gone through a very, very difficult time here. They were under siege by their enemies. There was no food. People were literally eating other people. Like, it was really a critical, crazy time. There was no hope at this time in the land. And then this prophet announces, by this time tomorrow, there's going to be food for every single person. Everyone thought it was crazy. But that was someone that God sent to bring hope, to bring encouragement to a group of people. So there are different times when God will send people into your life. Maybe you've gone through financial hardship and you didn't have any idea what to call. And out of the blue, someone supported you and someone gave you. That's someone that would embody what it means to be Missio Dei. I'll never forget a story of a lady that she shared this story with me. And what happened was they were going through financial hardship. She and her husband they literally didn't know where their next meal was going to come from. And this young man went out grocery shopping and decided to buy them some groceries. And he dropped it off in front of their door and left. And they literally came back home and saw food in front of their house. And he left a note that, hey, I was just shopping and I just thought maybe to get you guys some stuff, like just out of the blue. And when she shared this story with me, she said that you have no idea, but that was literally our last meal. And that gift was able to get us through to when we're able to get enough resources. So you never know when God is sending you. You have to be open. You have to keep your heart open to being used of God at different times. Another thing that the Bible talks about that God sent Missio Dei, sent of God, were angels. One very particular scripture that talks about always doing good, especially for strangers, because in so doing, you have no idea if you are being a blessing to an angel. And that's why it's important to never look away or turn away when there are people that need our help. And there are so many creative and amazing ways that you can support organizations that are on the ground who are helping the least of these. There are people that are called specifically into hospitality, who are called to go to shelters, who are called to give the gift of mercy, the gift of helps. And it's about rediscovering your purpose in these areas and knowing that you're sent of God, and people are also sent to you to support you at times when you need that help. So I want you to take some time as you watch today's episode to really think through what it means when we talk about Missio Dei, to be sent of God. If God was on the earth today, which He is, He can only operate through you. So are you sitting down focused on yourself only and your needs and the things that and your wants and the things that you really want to attain and your ambitions? Or maybe you're supposed to be the hands and feet of Christ. Maybe you're supposed to be using your gifts and your talents to support someone else. So I want to challenge you as we talk about Missio Dei today to ask yourself, who has God sent to support me in my life? And who have I been sent to help? And I hope you're blessed as you watch. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name's Nigel and I've got a few announcements for you today. Join us for our end of the month Bible study, both in person and virtual, on www.godkulture.global. And speaking of global, anywhere on the earth you want to be, you can download the new GodKulture app on both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Want to become a member of GodKulture? Join for a guest trial or a paid membership on www.godkulture.global. You can also RSVP to take part in GodKulture's next info session to learn more about their mission and vision.
Join in one voice, God of the armies of heavenly hosts, you're glorious, forever you reign in your majesty, none is beside you.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be talking with such an amazing person today, Tim Wambach. He's the founder of Flexing Fatherhood, and he has an amazing story. I don't think there's anyone that embodies Missio Dei, being sent of God, like this man. And so I'm so excited to have you here with me today. Really excited to have people hear about your story. And
thank you.
Such a phenomenal story.
I appreciate it. It might be a little bit too high praise, but I'll see what I can do.
No, I'm excited, Tim. So it is such a joy to have you here with me today, and love to hear a little bit more about you. I'm pretty sure our audience is going to be so blessed by what you're about to share with us. So tell us a little bit about Tim. Who are you?
That's a loaded question. I guess the way that, kind of the background. I'm 48 years old. I'm married.
I couldn't tell.
Thank you. I try. I have good genes. I'm married. I have a father of two young girls, 3.5 and 1.5. They keep me busy. And like you said, I'm the founder of Flexing Fatherhood, which is basically a coaching program for men, overweight dads, kind of reclaim their health and
like
power.
Myself.
You're not thinking like that. And so I've had a pretty long, extensive career in all different kinds of different things that I've done, different aspects. I kind of say I've reinvented myself now. This is the third time now I'm reinventing myself. So I worked as a youth minister at my parish, St. Mary of the Woods, in the northwest side of Chicago. And then I had this organization called Handicap This Productions,
which we're going to talk about today.
And then I also had a nonprofit organization called Keep On Keeping On, which was affiliated with Handicap This. And now, like I said, I'm helping dads get back to their health. So I've always been someone who helps others, and that's kind of been who I am. And I attribute that to my parents. My parents both started their careers as Catholic school teachers.
Wow.
So that's kind of where my I think where I started wanting to help others.
That's amazing.
It has been inbred in me from a very early age.
So you shared this with me, and my jaw dropped to the ground. If you're watching this, check this out. Tim ran all the way from San Diego.
No, from Orlando, Florida.
From Orlando, Florida.
To Chicago.
All the way to
Chicago.
Chi-Town.
Twice.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it was just once. Okay, awesome. So, can you explain how, and most importantly, why?
Okay, how, one foot in front of the other. Why? A lot of different reasons. So the first time I did it was in 2005, and I was working with Mike Berkson, who was my business partner in Handicap This, which happened after the run. So I did the run for 3 main reasons. One, to raise awareness for cerebral palsy, because that's what Mike has. To raise awareness for how Mike has to live, and then also to show people it was possible, because I wasn't a runner before I decided to do that. So I looked at that as an opportunity for me to kind of dig deep into myself and put myself through pain, to be perfectly honest. And I did put myself through pain because I know that, like with others say, the struggle that Mike has on a day-to-day basis was something that I wanted to honor. I met him 21 years ago. So we've had this really long relationship and a special relationship and a fruitful relationship, and a relationship where we both have learned from each other, and I think I've learned a lot more from him than he has from me. It affected me. Working with Mike showed me, like I always had a philosophy of keep on keeping on, which means never give up, right? Never give up. And when I met Mike, those words truly meant something, because Mike embodies what keep on keeping on means.
For those who don't know what that is, that particular condition, can you describe very briefly what that is? What Mike has to deal with?
So I'll explain. Cerebral palsy comes in many different, different forms. But for Mike, he has virtually no movement of his arms and his legs. And he's just this brilliant, hysterical, funny guy trapped in this body that has difficulty moving. Mike needs help with basically every day needs. He has with everything that you need to do throughout the day. He needs help to do those things. Wow. So it's very easy to take those things for granted, like brushing your teeth,
getting up, walking around.
Just anything that that you do that you take for granted. He needs help to do that. So that's what really kind of captured me was seeing, the dedication that his parents have towards his lifestyle, and then I was a part of that. And
this wasn't a job.
No, I mean,
initially,
it's really, I guess the way you look at it is, it was a calling, I think, and we met probably at a time where we both needed each other, I think. I was 27, Mike was 12, and like I said, it was a perfect timing for both of us in our lives.
And so you would care for him?
Yeah, so I started working with him. So I started working with him in the summer, going into 7th grade, where I would come during the day, and we would do fun things in the summer. And then I was his one-on-one aide in school. So I would take him to his classes and take notes for him and things like that. And then it just developed into so much more.
Wow. Then you ran one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. So really,
2 breaks and all that.
Yeah, of course. So really, I joke about one step at a time, but I hired a coach. Stu Middleman is his name, and he actually ran from San Diego, California to New York City. And so I believe that success leaves clues. And he's someone that did something incredible, so I wanted to learn from him. So I hired him to be my coach, and he helped me tremendously. One of the things that was the best way to describe what I was doing is, he said, "Tim, you're not running 1,000 miles, you're running 1 mile 1,000 times."
Wow.
So when you break it down like that, it kind of reframes the whole process, and you realize that it's more about consistency, and it is really just putting one step in front of the other. Obviously, that's going to take a really long time, but that's what it is. It's just creating repeatable actions throughout your time.
I'll tweak that. That's good stuff. Now, after you ran, you got national. You've been around the country.
So after I ran, so I took Mike and his twin brother. We went down to Orlando, Florida, had a weekend at Disney World, and then Mike and David flew back, leaving me behind to run back. And on October 1st, 2005, we were on the front page of the Chicago Tribune, and that amazing. Really was, kind of people started asking us to tell our story. Yeah. So Mike and I started telling our story, to different groups here and there, few and far between, small groups, but every time we would tell our story, share our story, the audiences they loved us.
Wow.
And it was very organic.
Yeah.
And we decided, after one of our presentations, I looked at Mike, I'm like, Mike, what if we turned our little speech into like an actual stage show with musical transitions and bells and whistles and this and that? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And that's what we did. And we launched Handicap This January 2010. At Oakton Community College in their Black Box Theater, and we had 3 sellout shows, and it was kind of off to the races since then. And we started doing all different kinds, people, colleges, Fortune 500 companies, you name it. We did a show at the North Shore Center for Performing Arts in Skokie in November of 2011, and the AP came and did a story on us.
The Associated Press.
The Associated Press.
Woo, that's global.
Yeah, so that article went 250 newspapers across the globe. And then it really was off to the races.
Yeah.
And we ended up becoming victims of our own success. We were traveling all over, everywhere from Los Angeles, California to New York City, just about everywhere in between. One of the things I say is we spent a month in South Dakota 1 week.
Wow.
And the travel kind of became way too cumbersome for Mike to continue. So then that's where I had to reinvent myself again.
Yeah.
From youth minister to working with Mike and Handicap This to now Flexing Fatherhood. And I've been able to take everything that I've learned throughout the years. And now, like I said, I'm married and have young
beautiful
daughters.
family.
Beautiful family. And, they captured my heart as well. And I've looked at things that I've done in my past. I think you learn from your mistakes, and you learn from things that haven't necessarily worked out.
Yeah.
So I've failed a lot in my past, and I think that's what has helped me succeed in the future.
Yeah.
And that's what helps me work with other men, other dads who want to change the way that they're operating with their health. Because back in 2020, I weighed over 260 pounds, and I lost over 60 pounds in 9 or 10 months.
Wow.
And I changed my psychology. I changed my relationship with food. And, you know, again, like I said before, success leaves clues. So now that's what I'm helping my clients with, you know, understanding what good food is, but also, you know, how to continue to have a consistent plan.
Now, before you started Handicap This, before this became a national thing, before you became famous,
Not really
right?
famous, but
What inspired you to just help this 12-year-old boy who can't move, right? And just needs that support every single day?
I mean, I think it goes back to, like I said about my parents. I think it was instilled in me from an early age to help. If you can help, to help, right? Yeah. It's not about a paycheck. It's not about the money. It's about being of service to other people, and that's what I've been about my whole life. You know, and it's not because I'm so great or whatever. It's just that's I blame my parents. And you know, like I said, like, you know, my parents were both Catholic school teachers, and my mom would tutor kids in the neighborhood and things like that, and my dad would always be shoveling, you know, the next door neighbor's, you know, walkway and fixing cars and, you know, everything. So both my parents had much of a service attitude, and that again was ingrained in me.
I think it's amazing. I think, you know, as people are watching this, for me, I just always want to ask myself, who do I need to say thank you to?
Ooh, that's
you know,
a question.
was been sent, was being my Missio Dei, sent of God, you know, to, at the time when I needed help, at the time when I needed forgiveness, that's stepped in and said, hey, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give you what you need.
Right.
You know, I think it's so important to take time to think about that and just to have gratitude for people that have selfless people, like selflessness. And I think that's true love, right? Because Jesus, they talk about love your neighbor as yourself. Because you know how selfish we are, right? We want the best cars. We want one of the
instant gratification, right?
Yep. And to be able to give all that up, to care for someone who, you know, can't help themselves in so many other ways, I think is just truly amazing.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what you said about gratitude. I like to have an attitude of gratitude, right? And I think where much is given, much is expected, right? Yep. And I think that's really where I like to kind of come in, is saying it's kind of like, it's my job to help, right? I can. I'm you know, in a position to. So it's time to step up.
That's amazing. So a question for you: what's the Flexing Fatherhood? You're working with fathers now.
Yes. And
you're helping them go through. You know, I know this slogan because I know it. Cutting the fat, right, out of fatherhood. So
it's a work in progress.
It's still a work in progress. All right, okay. So what's the mission of Flexing Fatherhood? What are you looking to accomplish with that?
I want to create a network of better dads. And so basically, you know, wherever you come in, just raise your game. That's all. Like, I mean, I think we all aspire to be better, right? Yeah. So I do that through health, adventure, and leadership. Those are the three values for Flexing Fatherhood, and I look at that from, you know, a global perspective. If you're a dad that is healthy, that is adventurous, and is a leader, odds are you're going to be a pretty good dad, that's right? Good. I think, you know. But at the end of the day, I want to cultivate more leaders more men who are standing up and being great fathers.
That's amazing.
That's what, I mean, the world needs more people lit up, right? That's what the world needs. Yep. The world needs more mothers lit up, more fathers lit up, more sons lit up, more daughters lit up, you know, more people living on purpose.
So
and, you know, I think what happened in the last couple of years, you know, people have been afraid and people don't know what to do, and they have this and hang up about this or hang up about that. And it's really like, we need to live authentically. Yeah. And that's really where my, where I try to stand apart, is wanting to live authentically. And that is so important for all of us, because we're meant to do more, right? We're meant to do more. It's not just, you know, playing video games or you know, sitting binge watching TV or whatever.
All the 9-to-5 hustle.
There's more. There's more, and I think it all boils down to giving back. When we give back, we're giving of ourselves. There's more to give. There's always more to give. There's always more to give. And I think that's what we have to, or at least that's what I like to tell people, is, you know, stop focusing on the things that you don't want, start focusing on the things that you do want, because at the end of the day, where focus goes, energy flows.
Tweet that. That's good stuff. That's good stuff, Tim. I love it. I believe personally that you're not going to take that fancy car, after you're dead.
No.
That really cool house isn't going to go with you. Now, those things are great, right? And we have those things, and we should enjoy those
Absolutely.
things. But I believe that a life of purpose is really about the other person. It's about caring for our neighbors. It's about giving to the least of these. That's something that we really, really value at GodKulture. Something that we always preach is not focusing on religion and being religious, but really being the hands and feet of Christ.
Sure.
Like helping the homeless, helping the less privileged around us. And you embody that totally. So I've got another question for you. What gives Tim fulfillment? What gives you that sense of, oh my gosh, I've done something amazing?
Yeah, I think it boils down to helping others. That gives me fulfillment. Now being a dad and a husband, that gives me fulfillment. Seeing my daughters smile and laugh and play with each other.
Yeah.
Whether that's good or bad, sometimes they're pulling each other's hair.
Oh,
but and then like looking at my wife and just smiling and being like, we created this. Like that's fulfillment. I mean we try to have love in our house. It doesn't always, maybe come out as much as we'd like, but I think seeing joyful kids
that's amazing.
Is fulfilling.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, I mean, what would you say to someone who has a condition, right, that they're dealing with? You've been around someone who's gone through pain, goes through it as we speak, right? And has to find a way to just find encouragement every single day and find hope. And go through questions like, why me?
Yeah,
why
that's a big question.
Why do I have to go through this, right? What would you say to someone who's dealing with something like that?
I mean, that's a really difficult question. I think the first thing I would say is I do not know what you're going through.
Yeah.
But with that said, I know people that have gone through some really difficult times and they've gotten through it.
Yeah.
And again, I think I said it before, it's really about where your focus is.
Yeah.
So if you're in a bad situation, if you focus on your bad situation, it's going to get worse.
It's going to amplify.
It's going to expand, right?
Yep.
So I would say, start looking and seeing where you can give of yourself. Start looking at where you can try to alleviate some some of the burden of your thoughts, right? Like let go a little bit. Again, easier said than done.
Yep.
Easier said than done. And I'm not trying to make light of anything.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, if you're focused on bad stuff is going to multiply. So you have to somehow break that pattern in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And whether that's reading a book, watching some kind of video or YouTube thing or whatever, something that's going to be inspiring or motivating or something that can maybe snap you out of that funk, even if it's just for 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then you kind of have to build on it. It's a skill.
Yep.
I look at, people say, Tim, you're such a positive person. Yeah, because I've been working on it for 27 years.
Come on.
So it's like, it's a skill, it's a muscle.
Yeah.
You have to continue to feed it. We shower every day or every other day because we need it, right?
We need to be refreshed.
You need to be refreshed. So, you brush your teeth, you do all these things. So same thing with like positive, positive self-talk, positive, reading positive books and whatnot. So that's how I look at it.
That's
right?
so good.
It's really about changing the way you look at things.
Switch your focus. It's really good, Tim. Wow, one more question for you, and then I'd love you to share some contact information so people can follow you. What's next for Handicap This?
Well, I think I probably should be asking you that first. Well, I think so. The last show that Mike and I did was November of 2018, and we actually were able to record that.
That's awesome.
And
in person right before the pandemic.
We had I think 2 or 3 camera shoots.
Beautiful.
So we have that video, and I want to do one more thing with it. I don't know exactly, but I definitely want that to be released on a bigger scale, and
really cool.
and to have it be. I guess go out with a bang is kind of what I'm envisioning, but also to kind of maybe pick up some traction then for Mike, because Mike, one of the things that Mike wants to do is kind of do some like stand-up comedy, and he wants to do more of that stuff. So I want to give him more of a platform to be able to do the stuff that he wants to do.
That's really, really cool. And we're having some secret conversations.
Yes, we are behind the scenes.
Some things behind the scenes.
Kingdom Branding is working its magic.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And we'll let you guys know once that comes out. But Tim, I'm so grateful that you are, our special guest for this
And
episode.
this was great. I appreciate
Missio
you asking
Dei,
me.
sent of God. You've literally changed this man's life, because
He's changed my life.
and he's changed your life,
Yeah.
because that's how it is, right? You think you're giving, but you don't even know that you're being given to. So that's really powerful, that you said yes to that calling to support Mike. And that opened so many doors for you that you never imagined. How can people follow you, find you, support you?
So thank you. Tim at Flexing Fatherhood is my email.
Beautiful.
So Flexing Fatherhood is what you're going to find on Instagram and Facebook, and then at Tim Wambach is what my Twitter account is.
Awesome.
But I typically Instagram and Facebook are a little bit more everyday run-of-the-mill stuff, and then Twitter is just kind of my stream of consciousness.
Let's do it. I love
Sometimes
it.
it's not that great.
So thank you, Tim. Guys, please support Tim and just follow Flexing Fatherhood and just this amazing vision that God's put on this man's heart. And I'm so blessed by him. I've not been able to stop talking about him ever since I heard about the story. So I'm so excited about you. Woo!
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Tim. Good to have you here. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Moy Mendez. I'm the Executive Director of the Hope Center. The Hope Center is a nonprofit focused on community economic development. Last year, we were able to provide services and resources for close to 10,000 individuals in the community. This year, we're doing something a little different. We're actually putting the skills in our community's hands. Back to the proverbial saying, we're teaching people how to fish instead of giving them fish. And one of the ways that we're doing that is through 3 of our main vehicles. Number 1, the technology department. Through our Hope Technology Department, we want to be able to introduce you to cutting-edge technology and help you grow in your creativity and imagination problem-solving skills. Number 2, our Hope Garage. We want to be able to equip you not only with the tools and the skills to maintenance your own car, but potentially to make it a side hustle. And number 3, our Hope Garden. Our Hope Garden is a self-pollinating garden. We're working with agricultural scientists and botanists to provide some of the freshest food for the community. Not only do we have an outdoor garden, which is focused on organic gardening and mental wellness, but we also have an indoor garden. Our hydroponic garden, each machine grows 25 pounds of vegetables in 28 days. Now, that provides food for communities like ours throughout the whole year, whether it's winter or whether it's summer. If you're interested and you'd like to get involved, here's 3 ways you could do so. Number 1, you could join any one of our workshops. Number 2, you could become a volunteer. Number 3, you could sponsor one of our events. Please click on the link below if you'd like to join the impact we're having in the Chicagoland area. See you soon.
So what does it mean to be sent of God, to be on a mission, to be used of God in so many unique ways? That's what I'd like to address in today's episode. There's this text by Darrell Gooder that I think is really, really powerful. He said, we have begun to see that the goal of the gospel of Jesus Christ is not the goal of the gospel, but rather it is instrument and witness. That is radically mind-blowing, because Christ didn't come down to earth to die for us, for us just to attend a Sunday service. The church, rather, is meant to be the hands and feet of Christ. We're meant to be active, and we're meant to realize that we are called and we are sent. The sending of God is really powerful, especially when you realize that you are called, that you have been equipped, and you have been given a special purpose to go out there and be the salt and light on the earth. So there are different times in the Bible when God sent someone. If you remember, and I'll share a couple of stories here. One of them was a prophet that was sent to Nineveh, who said, nope, I'm not going to go, because if I go to these people, they're literally going to repent. And he knew that God was a merciful God, so he decided to run away. Most of you have heard this story in Sunday school, that Jonah was swallowed live by a fish, a big fish, I'm sure. And it was in the belly of a whale for 3 days and 3 nights, because he refused this mission of God to go and speak and encourage these people that if they repented from their sins, then God was going to turn away his anger and his judgment from them. So I want you to think about that being sent of God can come in different ways. One, it could be through an encouragement. Some of you are called and in part to be encouragers. And when you sit back and you say, well, I don't know if God can use me, what you're doing is that you're not allowing God to move in someone else's life. So one really powerful way that you can be sent of God is to be an encourager. There are also people that pray for others, who are called to intercede for other people. Another way that you can be sent of God on mission is to be an intercessor. An intercessor is someone who is uniquely not praying for themselves, because we love to pray for ourselves. We love to pray for a big car and we love to pray for a really big salary. But being in a place of sacrifice where you say, not for me, but for someone else. So there are people who feel empowered and who just love to go down on their knees and just cry out to God, for others to be blessed, for someone else to be healed. So think about that for a moment. Like, you could be called into that. You have a heart, for other people, and you just love to pray for other people. And it doesn't mean you don't pray for yourself, but you're allowing yourself to be used of God, to be sent on mission to pray for other people. Another way that you can be sent of God is through hospitality. There are people who literally do prison ministry. I know it's really tough, right, to be able to go in there. And I've gone there once to speak to a young man who was arrested here in Chicago for, having some kind of drugs with him, some illegal drugs with him. And young man, teenager, and I sat and I went through, that security line, and they did all the checks and everything, which I had nothing in my mouth and all that stuff. And had the opportunity to sit opposite through this glass wall dividing us. And he said, man, Rotimi, it's so amazing, because I thought everything was just going to be horrible when I got here, but my cellmate is a Christian. And literally, we've been studying the Bible together in prison. And this young man who had the opportunity to go to church but refused and just wanted to do that street life, but had the opportunity in prison to meet someone else who I believe was sent of God, prepared to be there to be able to mentor him, and now they're studying the Bible together. So what he tried to escape from and what he would fight his mom about, like, I don't want to go to church, he actually met Christ behind a cell wall. So I want you to think about that. Prison ministry, the gift of mercy, going out and feeding people, being part of supporting a homeless shelter. That is another way to be sent of God. Now, there are ministry gifts like, prophets, teachers, evangelists, and just different ways, maybe more dynamic, more powerful, being on the stage, ways that you can be sent of God. And that's all great. Through your worship ministry, if you're a songwriter, if you're a worshiper, you don't want to sit down on those songs. You should be writing those songs and you should be releasing them, because there is not one single way that you can't say this is the only way that God sends people. There are multiple opportunities every single day that God can use you to impact someone else's life. Now, Missio Dei is something that you need to be conscious of every day. The Bible talks about being spirit-led. As many people as have God's Spirit, right, that you are sons of God and you're children of God. And what that means is that the Holy Spirit will direct you and lead you and guide you into what you should be doing per day. It means that when you're God's child, you obey God's will, you fulfill God's will on the earth. And what is God's will on the earth? Can anyone guess what that is? God's will is not for us to build the biggest buildings and say we have the biggest churches in the world. God's will is that one person to feel his love. That is God's will. God's ultimate goal here is to heal and restore the earth from sin. God sent his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to die for your sin, for the entire sin of mankind, for every single mess that you've done, every single lie you've told, every time you've cheated, whatever nonsense you've done and no one even knows about it, that you literally would be red in the face if it was revealed today. Christ died for that. So Jesus is the ultimate Missio Dei. He was sent of God. God himself sending himself to die for us. And I know it sounds crazy, it sounds foolish, but that is literally the biggest thing that completely will transform your life once you get to understand that. That the Bible says in John 3:16, very popular scripture, that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That is the biggest Missio Dei ever God sending himself to die on your behalf. And that is powerful. That is powerful. That is the ultimate sacrifice that we always talk about. Like, ultimate love is ultimate sacrifice. Is giving up what we all love the most, which is our lives. We love our lives so much. Being able to lay down your life for someone else is the ultimate sacrifice. So after doing all that, what is God's mission? God's mission is to heal people. God's mission is to rescue people from sin and pain and hell. And that's where we come in. This isn't a special task for pastors only. This isn't some unique, office in ministry that you would need to attain to. You don't have to go to theology school to be sent of God. You, as you are in your little obscure place where you think what you're doing is irrelevant, maybe it's through your blog or through social media or through your company, is you saying yes to God's direction and God's will. Saying, yes, God, send me, I will go. In fact, that's in scripture. God said, who's gonna go? Who can I send to these people? And someone said, hey, me, send me, I will go. So I want to encourage you to say yes this month to Missio Dei. What's God calling you to do? It might be small, it might seem insignificant. It might be something that is huge, it might be really radical, and like, well, I don't know if I'm enough to do that. I don't know if I can do that kind of project. But I want to encourage you to say yes, because you are someone else's angel. And the final point is, if someone's been sent to you, learn how to receive. Learn how to receive help. Learn how to receive support when you need it. We're not perfect. We're going to have downtimes. We're going to have great days. But knowing that you have a community of people around you that can support you when you're going through stuff is so powerful. So this month of Missio Dei, I'd love you to make an action plan, a Missio Dei plan, and ask yourself, what's God calling me to do this month? Write it down, right? And I want you to step forward and start to accomplish those things, because you don't know whose life you are going to transform. I hope this blessed you, and we'll be right back.
You are all consuming fire.
The Chicago 2022 Into Church Sports Tournament is back. We're back with a bang. Memorial Day this year, it's gonna be happening. Bring your church team, your soccer team, your basketball team, foosball, volleyball, ping pong, Uno, pickleball. I don't know what that is. You guys Google it, figure it out, and sign up a team. You know, it's gonna be fun. Sign up your church team at GodKulture.global. Bring your game face. We'll see you there.
Hey guys, I've got a big announcement. We are producing our first film, and it's called God is on the Move. This is a powerful vision that we believe God has given us to do a musical production in the city of Chicago, a live recording that's going to really be impactful. So if you want to be part of that, if you are a singer or a musician, we'd like you to sign up to audition to be part of our collective for this very special project. We've got a lot of cool, powerful songs that we'll like you to be part of for this production. And we're also going to be filming this really powerful movie about what God's doing behind the scenes in the city of Chicago. Really stories that you haven't heard yet that will literally blow your minds away. So we're excited about this project called God is on the Move. We'd like you to go to the website so you can sign up to audition to be part of our collective, or just to be part of our audience on the day when we film, or to be part of the actual film production. We're looking for volunteers, or we're just looking for donations or whatever you can do to support this movement. So definitely check that out at www.godkulture.global. I want to say a very special thank you to you for watching this episode. Missio Dei is about being sent of God. And I hope that you've been inspired and encouraged to go out there and actually do what Christ came for, which is, to be God's hands and God's feet and to show God's love on the earth. I just want to thank you so much. I want to say thank you to our team. Every single person is working so hard. And I just want to say thank you to you guys. God bless you all so much. And I want to leave you with this, that go ye into the world. And also, most importantly, do greater works. Have a heart of gratitude. Love people. Love God. We love you at God Culture. We'd love to see you on our community and on the app. God bless you. Have a good one.